Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our broadcast of the Saturday 145 draw. As you can see, the previous game is still going on while we work on our technical setup, so please bear with us. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next broadcast from the Potomac Curling Club. I'm your tech guru, Michael Dobbs. I'll be running our setup today. With me is Rich from the Pittsburgh area. He's a reciprocal member here at the Potomac Curling Club, and he's going to be doing our commentary. Welcome, Rich.
Thanks, Michael. Welcome back, everybody, to the National Capital Curling Center here in beautiful Laurel, Maryland on a nice sunny Saturday afternoon. Everybody's getting set for the A event quarterfinals going on. And on the feature sheet, Sheet B, we will be covering Team Mayfield, skipped by Chris Goldsmith, versus a local Potomac team, and that is skipped by Jay Atkinson. The Mayfield rink comes in at 2-0, winning their first two games against a Philadelphia team and a combination Potomac Triangle team last night. The Atkinson rink came through the short side, only had to win one game to get here so far, and they beat Mischino from Ryersford. So looking at the lineups, let's look at the hometown team, Potomac first, and of course we have skip Jay Atkinson, vice skip Jennifer Atkinson, second Mark Lawrence, and lead Rebecca Baxter Erickson. And for the Mayfield team, very experienced team coming in here. We have skip Chris Goldsmith, we have vice Paul Buzzard, second Kurt Young, and lead Jason Oblender. And if you add up all the years of experience on that rink, you have over 100 years of curling experience between those four. And the last guy, Jason, or the lead Jason, only has 3 years. He's the newbie on the rink. So we'll be talking a little bit about each of the players and looking out onto the ice. The players are getting into their practice slides, and we are probably moments away from getting this draw underway as some of the other sheets have already kicked off. And I'd just like to take a moment to say hello to all of our friends out there in internet land that might be listening this afternoon. Do we have a live chat drop-in option on this broadcast?
Why, yes, we do.
So everybody come on in, check out the live chat option, say hello to us, tell us how we're doing or how bad we're doing. No, don't say that. But come on and talk to us. I know there's a lot of friends of mine that I've sent the link out to, a lot of old high school friends I've recently reunited with at my 30th class reunion in a month or so ago. So I hope some of them are listening this afternoon, and if you are, hello. And to all the curling community out there, hello, and we're about to get underway, and it looks like Team Goldsmith will be leading off, and we have in the hack lead Jason Oblender, and Mayfield will be playing the Redstones today. And typical fashion for Chris, he calls for the stone right into the forefoot. We'll see if Jason can put her there. Chris is an experienced play-down curler. He's been to nationals 4 times. So I kind of expected this in the first end, and probably is going to try to keep it a bit open until he figures out the ice. And they're going to come up a little short and leave it as a guard, I do believe. Is that for down there? Okay. Okay. Just trying to figure out our cameras and different views here, what we're looking at. Well, I think we got it now. Here comes Potomac lead, Rebecca Baxter, very experienced curler, play-down experience. Very competitive curler. She'll put that corner guard up just where it's asked for. And it slips into the house, which now is going to give Chris an opportunity to hit. And he'll try to roll behind the center guard here early in the end. Nice control weight. Sweepers are working on the rock now. It's going to overcurl, and he's going to get a piece of the yellow. Does he get enough? Just enough to get it out the back. Fortunately, he couldn't hold the sweeper. I think Chris was looking for a little bit more weight than that, but it's early in the end. Everybody's going to get their legs. Once again, the call for the corner. I'm sure Rebecca will pull the appropriate amount of weight off of this shot. That looks a little better. Sweepers aren't even touching it. Is it going to stop in time, or will this one slip in too? And it looks like she just slipped in. We'll see a repeat of the last shot here as Mayfield will attempt to hit and roll in behind the center guard again. Jason's a left-hander, so they're playing the intern hit for him. Should curl a lot this way from what we've seen this weekend and what we've seen just in a few rocks down here. And once again, it looks like it's going to overcurl. Gets the nose hit. So now we have two red rocks out in front, nobody in. And Jay looks like he's going to consider drawing in behind the red rock out in front of the 12-foot now on the left side of the sheet. In throwing second for the Potomac rink is Mark Lawrence. Mark's in his second year of curling here at Potomac, so he's rather new, but he has a nice delivery for a second-year guy. Lays the rock out just nice, and we'll see if they can get it by. I do not think so. I think it's going to be tight. And, well, it backed out a little bit. I could be wrong. There's a little spot out there. It seems to have backed up. And he's going to tuck at least a corner of it in behind, which he does. Still mostly exposed zone. I expect Chris to be hitting. Throwing second stones for Mayfield is Kent Young. Kent's a 30-year curler. Kent actually began his curling career at the Mayflower Curling Club in Halifax and curled with one of my all-time favorites, Colleen Jones. Colleen being a 5-time Scotty winner and 3-time world champion herself. Paul's going to get the hit, and no, he will not. He will crash out on his own red, but he'll get a nice roll in behind the center guard. And when he gets out of the way, I believe Mayfield will be sitting shot. Mostly covered. Jay's looking the situation over. Jay's in his 5th year of curling at Potomac. So we're going to see a little bit of unsureness at times on some of the calls. And he called for the draw in. It's not an easy draw. Rock got way wide and is just taking its good old time coming back. And it didn't make it quite over, and now he's going to give Chris a chance to get rid of both those yellows. Not a good leave for Team Potomac. Rock's delivered with some nice weight. No sweeping yet. They're waiting for it to curl a little bit. He's going to catch both, and no, he just picks off the lead Yellowstone. Needed to curl up a little bit more. Jay gets a break, and he's got a chance again. Now he's looking at opening up the front. With his vice, Jennifer Atkinson, who is the most experienced curler on the rink. Jennifer's a 15-year curler out of Waukau, Saskatchewan, about 1 hour north of Saskatoon. And Jennifer says, "Go Rough Riders," in reference to her Saskatchewan Rough Riders, who are in a hot CFL race to get to the Grey Cup this year. Jennifer picks open the top rock, just missed running back onto the second red stone. Mayfield's still sitting shot, but very much exposed. Chris is going to have to call for a guard. Calls for a 3 guard. 3 zone is tight to the house without being in, for those unfamiliar with the numbering system. The sheet of ice from the hog line in is divided into 10 zones to enable the sweepers to let the skip know about where the stone's going to end. So the call was for the stone into the number 3 zone. But I would think line is way more important than exactly how deep it is. And they got a pretty good stone there. It's 98% buried. I could see a little corner sticking out, but not too many people would give that shot a go. So here's Jennifer now. She's looking again to run that back. Okay, Jennifer moves the red guard over, and once again, Chris is going to be forced into putting up a guard. Although the discussion may be of taking away the other Yellowstone in the house and forcing Potomac into taking a 1 this end. And I do believe that's going to be the call. I've played against Chris before, and Chris tends to be very conservative in his approach to the game, and it seems to be very happy to trade 1s off when necessary, and it looks like that's the option he's going to be taking this end as we now get into Skip's Rocks here. As we were saying before, Chris is a highly experienced curler, 41 years at the game. And it looks like he's going to, he may roll, the shooter may roll out, but he is going to catch a piece of the yellow, which he does. The shooter rolls out. Now we're just sitting 1 red. Does leave a slim hit and roll possibility for Jay on his first skip stone. It's a long roll to get in behind the yellow guard over on the left side out in front of the 12-foot. But it looks like he's going to give it a go. I think they'll be happy if he peels it out. And at this point, they're probably going to play for the blank now that the seeming force is out of play. And Jay's now into the hack, getting ready to deliver. Throws pretty good control weight here. They needed to curl a little bit more, We'll see what type of roll he gets, if he can hold the shooter, and he will not hold the shooter. He needed to come up a little bit more. So now it's a wide open house, and We'll just see where Chris decides to draw. And they're going to come into the right side of the sheet. There is a red guard out in front of the 8-foot, about halfway between the hog line and the house. And he's going to look to tuck in behind there and at least make it a little bit difficult to get the blank. And for those listening out there who may not understand completely the scoring systems, a blank end is nobody scores, and the team that has the hammer retains the hammer in the next end. Otherwise, whoever scores ends up having to throw first in the following end, and the other team then gets the hammer. Chris kind of fell a little bit on his delivery, which put a little more oomph on the stone than I think he would have liked, and it floats right out the back of the house. All right, here we go, and we will be seeing the blank as Jay's just going to throw this one through. So at the end of one end, it's 0-0. Team Potomac will retain the hammer. And we could take a look around at some of the other A event quarterfinals going on around us. Over on sheet A, we have Don Barrett and his Plainfield gang trailing Philadelphia, and Derek Tomlinson and company 2-0 after one end. Over on sheet 3, we have the RPI rink. Looks like they are leading 3-0 over Seth Mellon, another Plainfield curler. And over on sheet D, Scott Eady and the Yellowstones, they haven't posted a score from the first end, and we'll get back to you once they post a score, but they are playing the second, and as soon as they post a score, we'll get that out to you. So now here we are back to action on our featured sheet B. Rebecca Baxter in the hack. We have a guard that went off center line for Team Mayfield. And I didn't exactly see the call from the skip, but I imagine it's going to be a corner guard or a corner draw. We'll see what they elect to do. And this rock is definitely going to be coming into the rings. Once again, providing Chris with an opportunity to hit early. And Chris will hit. Once again, he'll be coming from the inside out on this. Playing the out turn with the lefty lead, Jason Oblender. Jason looked a little tight on that. But they're holding off on the sweeping. There we go. They're going to try to get a little bit of a roll, but nope, it'll be right on the nose. Chris is okay with that. Jay's now forced to hit. It's going to come at it the same way, just seeing that shot. Control wake is the call. And here comes a nice, perfect delivery from Rebecca. Right up the stick. Clean release. Stone is coming in nice. They will get a roll, and it's going to roll probably exposed at overshoots the guard, and that's a very tough roll to make that far across the house. Almost made perfectly, just a little bit too far, which is now going to give Chris an opportunity to come from the other side of the sheet and possibly get in behind cover. Rock delivered by second Kent Young. Rock's hanging out there. Are they going to even catch a piece of it? And it flashes right by. So opportunity now for Team Potomac to set up for the deuce. Call to split the house. Just been informed by our super stat detail watcher, Brian Galebach, that that sheet does have a tendency to run straight on that end. So I'm sure Chris has put that into his memory bank and will remember that if he has to play a shot down there again. But this looks like a pretty good draw. Should make it to the rings. Sweepers are working on it. Sweepers are going to bring her in. That was a nicely thrown curling stone. Nicely played shot right up to the tee line. Well swept. Well done, Potomac. Chris now will elect to go back to the side that he's a little more familiar with. Kent Young delivering this stone. It looked a little wide of the stick. No sweeping. It's got to come a long way. It's going to make it. It's going to make it. But he's not going to stick around like he wanted to. That one's going to float out the back. So once again, Potomac has a chance to split the house. Same draw we just seen. Mark Lawrence delivering the stone. Just through this. Looks a little bit heavier though. Sweepers are not touched it. Skip put up his hand, whoa, and it's kind of looking like, oh my. And Chris will give that a courtesy sweep. There goes a big opportunity right floating through to the back of the house. Now we'll go back over to the side that Chris had a little trouble, and the broom has definitely been tightened. Paul Buzzard's in the hack. In turn for the lefty. Now they're working on the sweep. They're trying to get the inside roll. And very well done. Got a little bit of a flip. Not quite enough, but it's going to make it hard for Potomac now to hit and roll in on it. Not much room to do that. Vice Jennifer Atkinson now. Coming with her out turn. Shot had a little bit more weight on it, and both rocks will spill out. Now we're looking at an empty house and one little red guard over on guarding the corner of the 4-foot, and Chris will call for the draw in behind from his vice, Paul. Paul and Chris have a long history together. Both these guys played together at Bowling Green back in the late 70s. And they're going to get, looks like about half of the rock buried. We even noticed Chris sweeping a little bit on it. It's good to see the skip sweeping. Jennifer now is going to try to pick this out. Oh, and she flipped it out a little bit at the end on release. Nicely done. The only problem is that it rolls back into the open. Gives Chris the opportunity now to hit and roll in behind the cover. That was the importance of only tucking a corner of that rock in behind. Any way that they managed to hit it, they were either going to spill out or they were going to sit wide open. And Chris, as we were talking earlier, actually started his curling career at Ardsley Curling Club and was coached by Potomac member George Shirk way back then as a young junior curler. And Chris has had a long trail along the curling path. Has helped start the Scottsdale, Arizona club. And as we'll watch his stone here, it's going to cross. Will he get the good roll? And no, it's going to sit wide open. So now Potomac has the opportunity. And as Vice Paul was indicating, a little bit too much weight. Need to bring it down, Chris. Chris is discussing it with him. Chris is also curled out of the Southern California club and went to the U.S. Nationals 4 times representing Southern California. So lots of curling experience on this Mayfield squad. Where on the other hand, the Potomac team's most experienced curler is their vice, Jennifer. Jay now skipping in the hack, throwing his first skip stone. He's looking for the hit and roll. Sweepers aren't touching it. It needs to come over. Jennifer's watching the line. And it's going to be a nose hit, which is going to give Chris actually a kind of unique opportunity, because if he noses this, he's going to be half in and half out of the house with his shooter, which don't necessarily know that he wants to be, depending on if he's trying to force or make them hit for the blank. So I'm sure Chris is going to still try to get that little bit of roll that might get him in behind that corner, which is going to at least force a little more difficult shot out of Jay and Team Potomac here in the second end. Chris with his patented, looks like he's falling down delivery. Once again, Paul's indicating too much weight, too much weight. It'll be a nose hit, and which is going to give now the chance for the peel out, or even a hit and stick on the nose should get the blank for Potomac. And looking around at our other sheets, going back over to sheet D, they finally posted a first end score. Team Edie took a 2-0 lead over Chesapeake. And it looks like a whole bunch of yellow just got scored again in the second end in their match, so we'll wait till they post. Over on sheet C, Team RPI stole another point in the second end to go up 4-0 over Team Mellon from Plainfield. And I missed the shot. Did we get our blank? Yes, we did get the blank. Thank you, Michael. I was looking around at the other sheets. So after 2 ends, we have a 0-0 score here in our feature match. Sheet A is just finishing up their second end. So as soon as they post a score, we'll get that out to you as well. And here we go in the third end. Once again, Mayfield lead, Jason Oblander. Calls for the center guard. And they're having some trouble getting that center guard in, and looks like this one's going to float right out the back of the house. Not a good start. We're getting some waves of hellos from some of the other curlers on some of the other sheets. Seth Mellon just waving hi to everybody back at home. Seth lives in the city. Imagine he has lots of friends there. Might be listening in on the internet broadcast today. Have we gotten anybody out on the chat this afternoon? Hey, people, come on, send us a hello here on the chat. I got to keep Michael busy. He's just floating around on the cameras and computer here.
Oh, I'm not busy at all.
See, he needs something to do. He needs to answer some of your messaging here. So send us a hello. Let us know you're listening. Let us know anybody's listening. Sure be nice to know. We got 8 listeners out there, according to our technical gurus here. Well, welcome all 8 of you. I'm glad you're with us. And we got 2 guards out in front of the house, 1 for each team, nothing in the center. And this is going to give an opportunity to Team Potomac to come in, draw in behind the corner guard. Rebecca's generally very good with weight control. Nice clean delivery. And it looks like it's a tight line. It is going to crash on the guard. It is going to wick off. And it's at least a usable rock in the right outside the top of the rings. In essence, giving Potomac 2 guards now to work with as they still hold the hammer in this scoreless game in the third end. I think this has to be the most blanks to start a game in this tournament all weekend. And if not in many years, and I've been here 11 of these years. I can't ever recall a game starting with 2 blanks here. So for us purists, we kind of like it. For those people that like points in the game, they're hating this right now. And the come-behind attempt, wicked off the front guard, but got a nice kindly roll in, corner of it tucked. But Potomac's going to now have an opportunity to hit and roll in behind cover. Although I didn't like the call for the bigger weight here. I think this calls for a little bit more of a controlled down weight with the amount of roll that they have to make. We shall see. Now, he didn't throw big weight. And he's going to clip the guard, sending the shooter out the back of the house. A little bit too much weight for that shot. That was a definite finesse shot. Needed the light touch. Hack weight at most, enough to push the one rock out and keep your shooter around somewhere. So now Chris with the big opportunity here. Looks like he's going to guard this stone up again. Lead Kent Young delivering. As we're saying, Kent started his curling career 30 years ago at the Mayflower Curling Club. And he's going to actually wick off, and Red will now have 2 in the house, so the force may be on. Jay has a couple options here. He could just plain draw in behind the corner, but he's choosing to hit this red rock in the back 12. Back 8, back 12, and flip in behind corner. And shot was a little wide of the broom, but he did get a roll in. He is behind cover now, but he is second shot. Chris is still in command here, and Chris now calling for the draw. Draw or tap, may even split a little bit off of his own red. It's be tough to get in behind there, not a lot of room. But the ice is pretty swingy. And these two definitely know each other's games, having played all these years together. So Chris is confident with the call. If they can get this tucked in behind, definitely looking at the force. We'll get a little wick apart. Shooter will roll back in towards the button area. And it's a thin double possibility, but I think I would be playing the hit and roll now at this point. And that's what Jay's looking at doing. Coming with the out turn. Calling for control weight. Nice clean delivery. May have been a tad tight. And they're waiting for the rock to move. Now they kind of waited too long. She's probably going to nose it. Maybe a little roll. Not enough. Not enough. They waited a little bit too long on the sweep call, which once again is going to give Chris a golden opportunity. There's actually, hit it right on the nose. It may be able to pick out both yellows. And Paul Buzzard, the Mayfield third, started at the Wilmette Curling Club in Chicago back in the 1970s, back when they were still using corn brooms. Gets the nose hit, just missed the run back, but Mayfield will be sitting 2 in the house. There is a double possibility there. A little bit of discussion over what shot to play here between the Vice and the skip. Going on a cross sheet. And I think we've settled. Although the Vice is still wondering what weight they want to throw at it. Now I think they're settled in on a shot. She's going to catch the outside. May they get to 2? No, she just picks the one out, and the shooter will spill out the other side. And the play on that one, last shot, was just for the hit and roll. They weren't looking at the double. But once again, it leaves Mayfield with opportunity here. And it looks like Chris is going to try to get that draw in there. They're determined to get that rock in behind their own on the right side of the house here. This Mayfield team's on a bit of a mission this weekend, Michael. Last 2 years ago they were here and they had an 0-3 appearance at the Inaugural, and they're a much better team than an 0-3 team at a Bonspiel. So I think we're going to be seeing their A game coming out. And Chris is going to clip the guard too, it looks like. Split him open, which I don't think he's that upset with because now the force is definitely in effect. Mayfield sitting 1-2. Potomac's third shot with the one little lonely yellow at the back 12. There is opportunity there, however, for the Potomac rink if they can make a good hit and roll, get in behind cover, get in at least a second shot. Ideally, they'd like to be shot stone covered after this shot, and then they got a real good shot at 2. And Chris knows that too. He's standing back there, kind of with a, I needed to make that shot better look. And then we see Jay keeping his front end all light and loose. They're all laughing out there. He must have said something. And that stone is floating out as he kind of pushed it wide. And he is going to flash. Big opportunity now for Mayfield. I'm positive we'll see the center guard going up. And that was the call. 3 guard right just to the left of center line. Choke off the shot stone, make the draw to the button a little bit tough. Because that's all I think Potomac's going to be left with after this stone. It's going to be the draw to the button. Chris with his patented fall down onto his elbow delivery at the end. Something he's worked on his whole career, I'm being told, where it actually looks like he's falling down every time. This guard is going to overcurl, and it's going to give Potomac the opportunity to score their single. That rock was way too deep and way too heavy. Now he's going to play the takeout weight again. We just watched him throw the last one wide. I would think maybe a heavy draw would be the shot here. You don't have too much could go wrong. You got backing all over the place. But they're going to try the hit again. And this might be a call that would be typical of a 5-year curler versus a more experienced type of curler. And if he's not careful, he floated it wide again. Little less weight, so it may come. No, it's not going to come back enough. He's going to peel out, and Mayfield's going to steal 2. Opportunity thrown away right there. That's a good lesson for you younger curlers out there. That's why you come with the lighter weight on that shot. You don't throw a bigger weight. It's not necessary. Too many things can go wrong. All you have to be off is by a 1/4 inch, and you give up 2, and that's what we just seen. So as we get ready for the 4th end, we'll take a look around our other matches. Over on sheet A, we have Philadelphia's taking a 4-1 lead. Plainfield finally put a point up on the board in the 3rd. On sheet 2, Team Mellon finally got a deuce in the 3rd, now trail 4-2 over RPI. And over on sheet D, the Edie Rink has opened up looks like a 6-1 lead now, playing the 4th over the team from Chesapeake. So now you're all caught up on our scores, and back to our feature match, and we're going to see the front stone this time. They're looking to leave it out in front of as a guard. And it's just going to slip into the rings. What will Team Atkinson do? Trailing 2-0. They're going to elect to hit. Thought they might put the guard up. Still early in the game, though. I could see hitting this stone. It's a dangerous stone if you're yellow, being at the top of the house near the control zone, the center of the sheet. Rebecca Baxter Erickson delivering her first stone. Very well delivered, very nice weight. Just going to get the hit and stick right there. And Mayfield will return the favor. Those of you who may be familiar with Rebecca, Rebecca was married 2 years ago to Potomac curler Jeff Erickson, and now goes by Rebecca Baxter Erickson. Here comes a Mayfield stone. It's going to roll off to the side and stick around on the left side of the sheet as we're viewing it. From your camera angle, it would be the right side of the sheet. And the call is to hit this stone. Ideally stick around. There's a lot of broom given for this shot. Rebecca split the broom, and they're laying off of it. They're laying off of it. She catches a corner, going to roll back in towards center. Chris now, I imagine, is going to just call for the hit and stick. He's happy to swap stones at this point, being up 2-0, having just stole 2 points. Chris, a very patient curler, will wait for the mistakes, even if it takes 6 or 7 ends. But when you make them, he'll jump all over you. All right, and the hit was made. Now the call's for a little more. Oh, now we're going back to a normal hit weight. Now he was much tighter with the ice this time. Sweeper's been working on the stone. Are they going to catch a piece? And yes, they will. They will nose it. And here comes Kent Stone. Kent's had a little bit of issues being wide to the broom today. And are we seeing a little bit of that again? Yes, we just did. There's the opportunity now for Team Potomac. Split the rings. Actually, another bad call would have been to put a rock in the top 12 in front of that one as a guard and potentially work on a three-banger. But the call's to split the house. And this stone needs to stop anywhere in the rings. The sweepers are laying off. The skip isn't looking very happy, and here comes Krista. It might stop in the back of the house. It might stop, and it just catches the back lip. Maybe. They're looking at it. No, we got the thumbs down. It's not in. Opportunity, golden opportunity for Potomac. Just thrown out the back of the house. Now Paul will play to pick this rock right out of there. They played a pretty tight broom to the stone. Not expecting a lot of curl in that spot with that type of weight. He's going to get the inside roll he was looking for. And almost made it over in front of the stone that just floated out the back, which would have been in a pretty tough spot to remove that stone. But it's sitting wide open. Calls to remove it. And if they can get a little flip back in front of that stone, then they have a little glimmer of hope to get that deuce this end. But this stone's going to over-curl already. It may even flash. And there's a very bad miss, and I think that was a broom call. That rock curled more than Skip J expected it to. Chris now kind of contemplating his options. We'll call for something in the top of the house, right in front of that other red stone, right into the 8-foot. And here comes Paul Stone. Nice weight. Sweepers are working on it. They should be able to steer this one right into where they want it. Needs to curl a little bit more, though. Now they can keep it moving. Right up. They needed to come over a little bit. It's not curling as much as they expected in that spot. And they're pointing to something on the left side of the sheet there. It seems to be maybe a little flat run in the sheet. This gives Potomac the opportunity to play this same shot again. A little bit more broom, a little bit more weight. And we are looking at just getting that red out, but not being able to keep any of the yellows. big advantage now for Mayfield, as they can either draw open and play the force, or they can maybe look at trying to steal again and draw in behind, or tap that one up in the top of the 12-foot. But I think Chris is interested in getting the hammer, so it looks like they're settling on drawing open. They're still talking about it as Chris makes his way down into the hack area. And they're still discussing the shot. And I think he wants to draw over to what would be the right side of the sheet from your view, but he wants to kind of clip his own rock there at the top and split them open a little bit more. The downside is if he throws a little bit too much weight, figuring he's got to rub off that rock, and if he misses, he could end up floating back through the end of the house. But he didn't throw it that hard. It's just a straight draw in, and he threw it light enough to where it will hang in the back of the 12. Which we will now see how aggressive Potomac elects to be. Potomac can draw here. Draw in behind the red rock at the top 12. Kind of what he's kind of looking at that. The safe call would be to draw one down onto the one on the back 12 that's just been thrown. Kind of a freeze play, freeze tap. But we're going to be aggressive here. You got to like this call. If he's going to get a 2, this is how he's got to do it. He's got to get in behind. Make it near impossible for his stone to be removed, and then he can draw for his second point on his last stone. And even if he doesn't get this in, he's probably looking at taking one still with the center being so open. He has a path to the button from several spots. So it's probably a pretty good risk here to take to get the deuce. How are we looking on chatters? Any chatters coming in, Michael?
No, looks like we got a bunch of silent folks watching.
Well, we don't have many fans. They're loyal and they're quiet. But we like having them here.
Sometimes quiet fans are a good thing.
And this draw is going to come up way under broomed, and now Potomac, the only thing that could have went wrong to give Mayfield the edge would have been to not take enough broom. The weight was pretty good. Didn't take enough broom. He's looking back at us trying to explain what happened, and I think he's blaming it on his wife, but but we won't go there. So now Mr. Goldsmith's set up with a pretty good situation to steal again. I expect a guard. I really don't know what all the waiting here is for. We'll put up a center guard and steal your 1 point, and let's move on, guys. But Chris is looking at some other things here. Looking around at some of our other matches. Over here on sheet C right next to us, Team RPI posted another steal in the fourth to take a 5-2 lead over Team Mellon from Plainfield. And now we got the call. It looks like we are playing the guard. I think we're playing the guard. They were discussing a lot of things. Where the broom is, I would think we're playing the guard. Oh, okay. Well, I don't like that call. That is not a good shot. I am sorry, that is not a good shot. That leaves the run back. He could have guarded that. He could have guarded this shot up and taken another single here very easily. I am very puzzled by that call. As even if he gets it onto the corner, then he leaves the possibility for it to be doubled out. Well, but even that, well, the double. Right, it's, I mean, the guard was an easier shot to take your single one. Some theory flying around amongst the peanut gallery here as to what might have been going on in Chris's mind there. But here comes the attempt at the run back, and it is going to overcurl the spot, and they will miss the run back. And it looks like it'll be a steal of 3 for Mayfield. Wow. Yeah, well, and he was probably looking at Jay being a 5-year curler and maybe not have played that shot many times. But it was a risk to take. You could have guarded up and taken a sure one and walked away from there. But that's going to blow open this game here now with a 5-0 lead for Mayfield. Playing into the 5th end. Looking out onto some of our other matches. And not many of them have been updated since we last updated you, so we'll wait till we see some new scores posted. We still holding steady with our 8?
Yes, we are. We actually have 9 viewers, though.
All right, welcome number 9 to our broadcast. Yay. Tell your friends, tell your relatives, you know. There's not much exciting going on today. You should be watching curling and listening to us here at the Potomac Curling Club at National Capital Curling Center for the Southern Comfort Inaugural Bonspiel. We'll be having live broadcasting the rest of the day. What? Okay, well, they've changed the name again. It's back to just the inaugural. Okay. We'll go with that. All right, so we've had a little bit of discussion on the inaugural name and the little change it went through the last year or two, being the Southern Comfort Inaugural Bonspiel. We've since dropped Southern Comfort as a naming sponsor due to possible copyright infringements and definite reference to a product. So we are just now the inaugural Bonspiel. So number 9, welcome to the inaugural Bonspiel here at the National Capital Curling Center. Our feature match here on Sheet B is Team Potomac, Jay Atkinson's rink against Chris Goldsmith from Plainfield, or Mayfield, not Plainfield, Mayfield, which is on the east side of Cleveland, Cleveland Heights, South Euclid area. Lots of good things happening over on that east side of Cleveland these days. Fun place to hang out if you've never been there. A lot of good places to go to. And here comes the draw coming into the house, and looks like the Atkinson rink will abandon their hitting game this end and look to throw some draws. And there was a nice draw by Rebecca, get partially covered, partially in front, not an easy rock to remove. And this is going to be a challenging shot here for second Kent Young. Kent, as we mentioned before, originated his curling career at the Mayfield Curling Club in Halifax, home to the legendary Colleen Jones, personal favorite of mine. And in good Mayfield fashion, he's going to run that yellow back. It did jam, and it will still sit shot, which is why it was such a difficult stone to get out of there. Well thrown by Rebecca on her last throw, and now Jay has an opportunity here because that other yellow's pretty buried. It's going to have to take a little run back on that red to get it out of there, and now he has a chance to split the house. But they are playing a hit. They are playing the hit on the stone on the right, on what would be your left side of the sheet. I believe that's how you're seeing it. Yep, that is how you're seeing it, according to Michael. There comes the hit, and it'll stick out there, but it'll only sit for third shot. But Chris is still going to have to deal with it because it is in the top of the house and has become a dangerous stone. So they are going to elect to hit. Kent's going to take a crack at it. He was having a little issue being tight to the broom during the first couple ends. We'll see if he's gotten his delivery straightened out. Kent is a left-hander, so he'll be throwing his in turn here. And once again, it looks like he was tight to the broom as he's over-curled the spot. We'll get the takeout, but his shooter will split out as well. But advantage still sits with Potomac as they have one buried in behind pretty good cover. And he's now going to attempt to draw. Well, he's looking at the hit, but his wife's shaking her head down here, and she's the experienced curler on the rink, so I expect to see the draw to the open side here. They're talking over split times with Rebecca as to what to throw. I think they've settled on something. This rock has to be in the house for Potomac, or it's going to be another opportunity for Mayfield to take control of the end. And early indications are this is going to be another opportunity out the back of the house. There goes Jay reeling it in. Chris is giving it a courtesy sweep. And right out the back. So we've seen that a few times here from the Potomac rink, having opportunities and floating them through the house. All the curlers have been making comments about how zippy the ice is this weekend. So maybe catching the Potomac curlers a little off guard. Now here we're going to try a little tap up. Paul Buzzard's rock being delivered. He is going to make contact. He is going to get the nudge, and it looks like now Mayfield is sitting shot. Although it is close, it probably would come to a measure. But if I have to call it, I'm calling one for Mayfield right now. Which now leaves a big, big, big problem. Looks like a big, big problem for Potomac. And Jay's not sure what to call. Everybody's kind of shrugging their shoulders. Almost at this point, the slash double, it's there. It's not easy. This is trying to make it the thin way, and I don't really like this call. This has to be executed just perfectly. Well, and she's going to miss everything. She missed everything. Yes, she did. That's the second time we've seen that out of that stone. That it really took off. It depends. Because Jennifer's very experienced curler, and I didn't detect anything in her release that would have started that stone. We'll have to keep an eye on her number 5 stone.
I was watching the rotation. The rotation looked fine. It had at least 1.5 rotations going down.
And we've been informed that the rotation was fine, and I would concur. So we'll keep an eye on that spot, an eye on that stone to see if we notice it again. Which once again gives Mayfield a golden opportunity to tap 2 up for count. Paul's going to come up a little bit light and then leave a guard out front. Probably a little bit too deep for what they would have liked. Still leaving that slash double available. They're looking at it. And while we have a second here, we got some scores being updated over on sheet A. Looks like Team Philadelphia, Derek Tomlinson and company, have taken another 2 and now lead 6-2, playing the 6th end against Don Baird and Team Plainfield. Back on our sheet now. Stone's being delivered, and we have another flash as they tried to slash. So Team Potomac's in a world of trouble here. Over on sheet D, we have an update now. Team Edie has posted another point and leads 7-1, and it looks like they are playing their 5th end. And they're playing a team from Chesapeake, and that game's well in hand. So we're seeing a lot of one-ended scoreboards this afternoon in the A event quarterfinal. Team Mellon, Seth Mellon over on sheet C, they're trailing 7-2 after 5. And it's a wide open house that the Skip's drawing to, so they're going to be hard pressed to catch up in that game. Back over to our feature match now. Seeing another guard going up. It's actually going to be a little tap. If he taps this one forward, it's going to be a sit for two, but no, he doesn't make the tap. So it's still one for Mayfield. The only saving grace here for Team Potomac is he still always has the draw to the pin to get his one. So not all's lost here for Jay. We pick up any commentators yet? Geez, awfully quiet home crowd there today. Come on, guys, pick it up a little bit. Talk to us. We're likable people here. Well, some of us. I'm getting more feedback from the peanut gallery here behind me and to the sides of me than I am from you guys at home. Could be maybe they're not in front of their computers. They're doing laundry or cooking or chopping wood or something while they're watching curling. Quit all that. Stop what you're doing. Pay attention to our curling broadcast. Gosh darn it. Oh, this is the internet. I can swear, can't I?
Please note, any swearing is not endorsed by the Potomac Curling Club.
No, we'll keep it some good, clean family entertainment fun here. Gosh darn it. We won't fly a bunch of malarkey out there. And here comes Jay with his first skip stone of the end. He's looking to make that draw right now. Get it out of the way, find the weight, find the line. It's a lot of weight. The line's going to hold, but it's going to slip right through the back of the house. So we'll see what Chris is going to do. I think he's going to try to play the tap-tap and get a second counter in there. And if he pushes that one to the button, it's going to be pretty tough for Potomac to get anything out of this. And there's a lot of room for error on this shot. If he comes up light, it'll sit out front as a guard. If he's a little heavy, he's still sitting shot. That's not going to hurt. The situation's going to be the same. So not too much can go wrong with this shot here coming up for Mayfield. And the stone is away. Chris with his patented fall on his elbow delivery. Really got to find out where he developed that. That is very unique. Have you been watching that, Michael?
I've seen that a lot. Just from him.
Yeah, from Chris. I mean, he does it very well. All right, there, even though that didn't get the tap up, it's blocked the path to the button. And a very dangerous situation now for Potomac, as even if they rub against any of those up there, very, very dangerous situation. How did that line from Men with Brooms go? That house is blocked up like a toilet the day after Thanksgiving. Yeah, Yes, very dangerous situation. And from the looks of it across the sheets here, I think a lot of these games are going to start wrapping up here pretty soon. We're seeing a lot of one-sided scoring. And there is a tiny, tiny opportunity here with the right shot. Looks like they're going to try to come with a lot of weight here and try to bing off of a couple rocks and sneak their shooter in for score. We'll see how that goes. This could be very dangerous, however, as Mayfield's already sitting one, and with two other stones on the verge of being counters. Shot looks wide. He needs it to curl. He needs it to curl a little bit. He got the curl, bing, and he will sneak one in. Very nice shot from Jay Atkinson to sneak one out for Potomac. And did he get? Is he going to pick up two? Yes, he might. He picks up a deuce. Well done. Well done. And looks like our game will be going on. So now Chris will have the hammer. Scores now 5-2 in favor of Mayfield. Chris is now probably second guessing. He should have thrown the guard rather than get greedy, but that's where we're at. So Rebecca will step in to throw the first stones here in the sixth end. Coming right at us towards the glass here at the Potomac Curling Club. And we're going to get a nice center guard right up in the 1-2 zone. Good way to start the end. Chris is calling for the draw into the house to the wing. Looks like a well-placed stone. It's going to make it right into just biting the rings. Nice placement on that stone. Makes it tough to deal with. It's in the house. Jay, however, is looking to keep control of the middle, which is what he should be doing at this point. I'm sure he'd like to steal a point or two here in this end, tighten the scoreboard up. And we are going to get the nice second guard. It looked like it just kind of grabbed a little something and picked up a quick spin at the end, brought it over and a little bit deeper. But pretty good position for the guards. Chris is going to draw the other open side, get his two inside, and then he'll probably deal with that center guard stuff. And they're working on this stone. Looks like the weight's definitely there. It's going to be a nice shot right up to the tee line. Nice place, 2 rocks from lead Jason Oblender. Here in the 6th end of our featured match in the A event quarterfinals at the inaugural Bonspiel at the National Capital Curling Center here in beautiful Laurel, Maryland. Nice sunny 60-degree day outside. Lots of good curling going on inside. Team Potomac is now going to look to hit the rock out on the wings. I'd have thought they used this opportunity maybe to draw in behind. But they'll make the hit. Potomac will be sitting 1, and Mayfield will return the favor with the hit. We'll just see which turn he decides to take. As this is Kent, and he's had some broom issues today. Kent being a lefty. Something, well, it's not going to make it. Kent's having a little bit of trouble out of the 2nd spot today. Kent was telling me earlier, back in the 80s when he was at the Mayflower Curling Club in Halifax, he actually got to play in a mixed spiel with my idol and favorite curler, Colleen Jones, and they won the spiel, of course. So kudos to Kent for that. Would have loved to have been able to curl an event with Colleen. I bet you that was a great time for them. But here we are now. Jay will try to curl in behind. It's going to be deep, maybe a little bit deeper than he wanted. It's right onto the pin. Not bad. Not completely buried. A little corner maybe sticking out, but not much. All right, now Chris is looking over the situation. And we got a score update from Sheet C. Team Mellon scored a single. We'll play into the 7th, trailing 7-3. I think it's 3. Yes, 7-3. So they have a long road back. Team Baird put a single on. Trail 6-2, playing the 6th. No, I'm sorry, the 6th end score has not gone up. They are playing the 7th. We'll wait till they post a score over there. Sheet D, Team Edie's well in hand over there, up 7-1. And back here to our feature match, we've seen Mayfield open up the front a little bit. And here comes Vice Jennifer Atkinson's shot. She's looking to lay a guard up. And they're working to get it over. They need to keep it moving and let it go. And it's a pretty good guard, but pretty high. Zeiss has a lot of curl, so high guard is not the most effective this weekend. And it looks like Chris is going to try to come through the hole with some sort of backline weight. It does curl a lot more this way than the other way, so if you're going to go for this shot, this is probably the best way to go for it. Of course, it's Paul Buzzard, longtime curling mate of Chris, is throwing this stone, so he knows what he can do. I'm sure they've played this shot many times before. And he's going to get by. There it is. That's why that wasn't a good guard, ladies and gentlemen. Very good shot from Team Mayfield, getting a thumbs up from Skip Chris through the glass, looking back at us here. Very happy with that shot. But when you got guys that played together for 30-some years, that's what happens. I will see if Team Atkinson can repeat the shot. They probably have the player throwing the shot that I'd want on that team. And they're going to catch a little bit too much curl, it looks like, and they're going to catch the lead guard. Not quite enough weight. So they've opened it up, and you're going to see the center guard go back, but you're going to see a lot tighter guard so that sort of play can't be repeated. It's a great example of why on swingy ice, high guards are usually not that effective, even if they're totally burying the rock that they were attempting to bury. Now here comes the Mayfield guard, and it looks heavy. It looks like this is going to slip into the rings. They need it to curl a ton, and it is just not going to curl in that spot for them. So here's an opportunity now for Team Potomac as they sit. The shot rock sitting wide open. Fairly academic hit and roll here if they can make it. And over on sheet D, we have seen the handshakes. Team Edie will move on. The team from Chesapeake will drop into one of the other events. Not sure where exactly they're headed, but that game is now over. So we're left with only 3 games out on the ice. All 3 of them, ironically, the Red Rocks are in control by a lot. And Jay's taking a good amount of time down in the hack concentrating for this shot. This is a big shot for Team Potomac here. He needs to make this. Sends a rock out there. It is picking up a curl. Sweepers are working on it. Will he get the roll? And he's going to make a nice roll. Right in behind cover. That's what exactly he needed to do. It's a good shot by Jay. Team Potomac has got something working. And Team Mayfield will look just to tap the shot rock back, playing a finesse back house type of weight. Want to leave their shooter in that good position. Make sure it's shot, so they need to throw enough weight to move that yellow rock probably about 3 to 4 feet. Enough to make the shooter shot and put Team Potomac back on the defensive. Here comes Chris, the release and the fall. And it picked up an early curl. I think he was tight to the broom. He's going to be all over the lead guard. And it's actually going to work out real well for Potomac because it pushes that second one in. And it is going to be 3 Potomac counters now in the house. But Jay doesn't have the hammer, so he has to protect. contemplating on what he may do here. Could draw another one in down on top of his, overlap the guards, clog the middle. Does he want to get greedy? You're going to try to draw in from what would be the left side of the sheet from your view, and to come around and sit right on top of the rock right in the forefoot. Not necessarily the easiest of shots. It's going to leave the center open. And as we promised, we got you a score update now from over on sheet A. Team Baird scored a single in the sixth end and trail 6-3, playing the seventh end against Team Tomlinson from Philadelphia Curling Club. So now it looks like we've settled on the shot. It's going to be the draw. You draw into that top of that rock in the forefoot on what would be the left side of the sheet from your view. Got Jay in the hack. And now we're ready. We got Jay in the hack, waiting to make this draw. He's pretty good to the broom, maybe a hair tight. He's got lots of weight. This looks like it might be a pretty good shot here. Rock's bending in nice. It's working. It's working. It's not going to make it over there quite enough. It's not bad spot, though. It's going to be tough for Chris to do anything with, though. He may have hit possibilities here. That's what his vice is now looking at. I'm sure the two of them have been in this situation many times before, having curled together for 30-some years.
How about the nose hit on that yellow they just threw?
Well, I think that's I think the nose hit is kind of what they're looking at, but
If you try for the double, you have the danger of rolling out and giving a deuce, even if you make the double. Unless you make it at just the right side. That would be tough.
and they're looking at where to hit that stone.
About, I think, a 2-inch window to tipping. It would be more ice. Still be ice.
So Potomac's sitting in the catbird seat, got Mayfield on the defensive. While in the meantime, over on sheet C, it looks like we had another set of handshakes as Team RPI, Elizabeth Andrews skipping, is going to move on in the A event. And Team Mellon will move down into the C or D event. I'm not sure which way they head. We could check out the brackets a little bit later and see what all the possibilities or where these teams are moving to. And it looks like they've settled on the hit. This is in a piece of the sheet that we have seen stones move a lot, even with some good weight. No, it's the shot's looking like they're laying off of it. It's not bad. It's not bad. And he just misses the double and will give up one, maybe two. No, it's just going to be a single. Just a single. So Mayfield dodges a bullet. Potomac picks up a single. We have a 5-3 game now, and we will keep playing. Going into the seventh end here at the National Capital Curling Center, it's Potomac Curling Club and the inaugural Bonspiel. Have we picked up any more? We're up to 10. Hey, we keep gaining some viewers here. Hey, tell your friends and relatives, you know, they should be inside watching curling this afternoon, listening to us and our fantastic broadcast here. Be nice if some of us got on, if some of those guys got online and sent us a little bit of feedback. You can ask us questions. We'll answer mostly anything. If we don't know the answer, we'll make it up. You know, so you always get an answer out of us. Oh, and we have a very uncommon mistake from lead Rebecca Baxter. Hogged her first stone. Rebecca Baxter Erickson. Yes, the kitchen's in full gear and the smell of frying crab cakes is in the air. I'm getting hungry. Maybe they'll bring us some over. What do you think, Michael?
That would be nice, but they're not listening.
And we got another stone through. Looks like it's going to sit stopped in the back 12. With a couple of the matches coming off, this ice is going to experience some change. It might slow down a little bit. Might be why we see the hogged rock out of Rebecca here in the first. And it looks like it's all over on sheet A now. Team Tomlinson from Philadelphia will be moving on. Team Baird will be dropping down into one of the other events. His handshakes came out. And right now, the only match left out on the ice is our feature match here on sheet B. And it's Team Mayfield against Team Potomac. Mayfield's throwing the red stones. Potomac's throwing yellow. Mayfield has the hammer this end. And there's a nice draw. It's going to come in behind the corner guard. And poke out the other side, so it is partly exposed. We'll see what Jay's going to think here, and Jay's going to put the center guard back up. Although he's now he's changing his call. He wants to freeze to that stone that was just thrown. One of the more difficult curling shots is the perfect freeze. So we'll see how this works out for them. All right, well, here we go for the perfect freeze attempt. Not a lot of sweeping yet. The rock got to curl a ton. They got a lot of room by the guard, and it's still got to curl up a ton, and it's just not curling. It's just flattening out, not going to make it over. It's going to be not bad, though. It's going to catch the corner. It actually looks like it's now shot rock for Potomac. Chris is going to address it, try to poke it out. Once again, it's second Kent Young being asked to make the hit, and Kent struggled on these today. We'll see how he makes out. Looks like he was pretty good to the broom that time. It's all going to be about the weight and whether it'll curl up in that spot. And it's going to hang out there. He's going to catch a corner, but is it going to be enough to move it? No, he actually didn't even catch the corner as they stepped in front of me. So we have a little bit of a flat spot there. The rocks don't seem to want to curl up.
Wasn't that the weight he was trying to throw there? Wasn't he trying to throw a lighter weight? Well, it might have been okay with the right weight then.
They're all flattening out right there. And now Jay's looking how to take advantage of this. He's looking at putting another one in front of it. Oh, now I can't see what I'm doing because I got fans behind me closing my eyes. It doesn't matter. I can call the game anyway. It's one of the losers from Sheet C coming over to talk to us. What happened out there, Seth? What happened in your game? It looked like you struggled all game.
I did. I struggled with my weight, and they just were spot on. I mean, you know, they had their weight down the entire time, and, you know, we struggled finding our weight and then a little bit with finding our line. So you win some, you lose some, you know.
So now you move down into what, the C event?
Into the C event, and we just keep running on the C now.
And when's your next match?
7:30. Against who, I have no idea.
Well, there you go, and hopefully you have some better stones and some better throws this next round, and we'll see you back in the winner's circle.
You got it, my friend. Rock on.
Go enjoy your after-game drinks and food and camaraderie with the other team, and we'll return here to our feature match. Potomac now's got two sitting in the house, and Kent Young is looking to take out the stone that was just thrown up there, and he's going to do that nice and cleanly. And it's going to allow the same play back from Potomac. Double possibility is hanging out there. Looks like a lot of ice for this turn. But they are closer to the center line, and this rock has tended to curl for Jennifer, so we'll see what happens here. No, it's pretty good right where it's at. And she's got it. Nice shot from Jennifer. Team Potomac in control this end, even though they don't have the hammer. They certainly got Mayfield running. Get me a mouth. I just signaled back to the drink area to get us some more drinks over here. I need a Mountain Dew. And the draw coming up from Mayfield looks like it's going to be right out the back of the house. Potomac with a huge opportunity now here in the seventh end. It's going to make it real tough for the Mayfield crew to score more than a single this end. And then so Jay's down the other end looking over his options. He's been looking at calling for the freeze over onto the what would be the right side of the sheet for you guys. I do believe that's the view, correct? And, or no, it would be the left side as they're viewing it. Okay, be the left side. So they're looking at tucking one in there. The other call would have been to put one right in the top 12, right on center line, and force the play over to there and seeing what Chris would have done with that. Now there's that there's that flat spot again, and that rock's not going to curl. And it's going through, and it's not going to be a counter. So the door swings back. Mr. Goldsmith. Yeah, about 20, 25 minutes it'll start. And here comes the shot in, and it looks like a nice rock for Team Mayfield. That rock is going to be very difficult to remove. Although it is removable, there is space. It can be picked out. How's our viewership doing?
Up to 11.
Well, we keep gaining. Every time I ask, we keep gaining one. You guys out there, keep telling your friends and neighbors. Tell grandma and grandpa. You know, tune in to curling. Turn off the polka shows this afternoon. We're much more entertaining. And we're going to see Jay doing the lightweight, trying to tap that red Mayfield stone just over to the side so that his yellow stones will be counting and force Mayfield into taking one. Here comes the stone. It's got a chance, but at this speed and as far out as it was, I'm not so sure it's going to make it all the ways over. It's got to curl a lot, and we haven't seen much curl in this spot. And it's not going to go enough. It's not going to be enough weight. It's going to just sit and bounce. It is going to be shot, but it's very accessible. It's very accessible for Chris. They've seen this spot a lot. They're going to know exactly where to put the broom to make this shot. And Potomac's going to be in a tough spot because this is going to leave Mayfield, if they make the shot properly, it's going to leave Mayfield with sitting two. That's going to be pretty hard to get out of there. Now they're discussing all the possibilities. And in the background, I don't know if you can see any of the background stuff going on, but the ice crew is getting diligently ready to tend to the other sheets that have come off and are waiting patiently for our feature match to conclude. There will be a scrape session between this draw and the next draw, and then if you stay tuned, you'll get to see me play the next match. Team Galebach, which I will be skipping, throwing third stones in this game. We'll be going against Team Andrew from Triangle Potomac. And we will be the feature match. So if you stay tuned, you not only get to hear me in this match, you'll get to see me play in the next match. And that match goes off at 5:45 5:45 or 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Okay, so Chris has made the pick out of the Yellowstone. Mayfield's now sitting a solid 2, although they are vulnerable. They can be doubled out. More than likely, the yellow will spill 2 that's sitting there, but the shooter would stay, and if made properly, Mayfield or Potomac would be left sitting at least 2, which would force a draw for one out of Chris and Mayfield gang. But Chris would be happy even taking 1. He'd come home up 3, even though Potomac would have the hammer. I think he would feel very safe with a lead like that. So this is almost a must-make shot for Potomac to stay in this game here. And it's a long conversation going on down at the other end. Now it looks like Jay and Jennifer have kind of settled on the shot. Jennifer, with her years of experience curling in Saskatchewan, knows exactly where to put the broom for this shot.
You want something like this?
Jennifer, of course, out of Waccah Curling Club and north of, about an hour north of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, which is fairly far north for you guys here in the States, probably well over 100 miles north of the U.S. border. And here comes the stone. They're working on the sweeping, though it looks like it might be a pretty good shot. And he does spill the 2, and Potomac will sit 2. Very nice shot by Jay. But in the end, it's going to leave a wide open hit and stick. They'll score their single. Mayfield will. They'll go up 3. And Potomac will have the hammer coming home in the 8th if that's what happens here, which was what we expect. And what we have expected has not disappointed us today, so. And Chris now delivering this last stone. Stone's away, elbow falls. Chris turns to the side, as is his routine. And that stone is curling. That stone is curling. What are we going to see? And we will see it just hanging on for shot. Mayfield will take a single here, go up by 3. Potomac will have the hammer coming home. It was a little iffy on the make it over curled a little bit. I don't think Chris was expecting that, and but he got it to hang on just in time to outcount the Potomac stone, and we now have a 6-3 lead by Mayfield. They're going to throw their first stones through since they don't want any rocks in play. Potomac, on the other hand, will be putting guards up. And we'll see the corner guard go up first. And here comes Rebecca's first stone of the end, looking for the corner guard. Has to be a guard. Anything in will be hit. They're laying off of it. Is it going to it looks like she's going to stop in time. Nice tight guard. Good guard by Rebecca. Good start here in the 8th end for Team Potomac. And we're going to see the throw through on the other side. Very well executed. Nice weight on a throw through as you want to kind of see what the ice will do with the higher weights. Just in case, this future information. All right, I'll try it one more time. Have we picked up any other viewers? Still at 11. Well, we're thankful for the 11 viewers out there. We wish there could be more. Maybe they're all waiting for the 5 o'clock game to watch me curl rather than listen to me talk about it. But anyways, as the match goes on, we're looking for the corner guard on the other side. And looks like Rebecca's going to deliver. 2 very nice guards to start the end. But it's still a long road to hoe for Team Potomac as they're going to need a couple misses. So now we start the peels. They're laying off of it. It's got to curl a little bit and looks like it's going to be a pretty good peel. Will it get it out? No, it's not a good peel. It's actually a very bad thing for Team Mayfield. He didn't move the stone. He moved it into the house. And they're going to put another guard back up. It's a good call. They're looking to get this rock across. Out comes Skip J, adding his sweeping prowess to the mix. And they get it into the number 2 guard position right over on the corner. All is good. They're at least having a good time laughing probably about Jay's sweeping. Oh, here comes the takeout attempt. One or the other. It's really not going to matter to Chris as long as one of them goes away. Potomac needs to get this draw buried to have a chance here. If they can bury this draw here, they still got a glimmer of hope in this contest. If not, it's going to be pretty tough. And it looks like we're narrow and light. This rock is not going to make it past the guard. Oh, and it did make it past the guard. Just papered it. Good job by the sweepers to hold that stone. Excellent stone. Potomac now got a slim hope. They still need another miss out of Mayfield to set up the 3. They've gotten 1 miss. They need 2 to score 3. But this is the 30-year veteran Paul Buzzard throwing the Vice rocks here. He's not going to miss many wide open hits in this situation. Lots of discussion on where to put this stone. You got to score 3 guys. You got to guard. You better draw right in and freeze on top of it. Even behind it isn't bad, but it needs to be over. It needs to be over on this side. Yes, right where he just put his broom. Not there. A lot of indecision out of the 5-year Skip J. He's taking advice from his team. He's got lots of experience out there between his wife Jennifer and Rebecca Baxter Erickson. Very skilled play-down curlers. Oh, so we are drawing to the other side. And this rock, this is the rock we've seen curl a lot out of her hand. And it is really curling now. It is curling. They are not going to get behind that red guard. That rock really curled. How Chris has gotten into a situation I don't think he wanted to be in. He was trying to avoid. He's going to try the finesse weight tap back on the rock that's buried. He must get around that corner guard. And that he's going to do, and this is going to be a peach of a shot for Team Mayfield. This might just about lock it up. What a nice finesse shot. That just about locks up the game, I think. That stone's near impossible to get out of there. Team Potomac looking over the options.
How about this shot, Rich? If we go off of that top yellow line, back into the red, hit the red out, and hit that red out. It's almost there.
And here comes Jennifer's second stone of the end. She's trying to draw to that other side again. And that side really starts curling once it cuts across the center line. That stone is moving more than the first one almost. Oh. Stone positioning is starting to become a little bit of an issue in this game here as stones are piling up in the house. I know this isn't what Chris wanted to start the end. He was hoping for a nice, simple, clean end and put this game in the books. But Team Potomac's making them work for it. And they're still looking over the shots. So a lot of discussion between the two veteran curlers out there. Joining us at the moment is a champion skip from Potomac Curling Club, Bill McDonald. Bill, you may as well chime in your 2 cents here. Where do you think they ought to put this stone if you were Team Mayfield? What would you be doing?
I'd be guarding up the second shot rock.
Okay, there you have it. That was my kind of feeling, too. I'd throw a guard up here right now, but Red's throwing. We have some diverse opinion here. Some people want to take.
I was thinking you hit the yellow ones, but that's dangerous.
So after some of the discussion around here, I think back here in the booth we've kind of settled on throwing a guard. Although we got all 4 Mayfield guys in here, trying to figure it out, and between the 3 of these guys, there's over 100 years of curling experience there, so one of them ought to know what shot to play, you would think. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe there's too much experience out there. Those 3 guys, they all started curling when corn brooms were still in style. So it looks like they've settled on something. It looks like they're going to try to play a little tap up on the one they just threw, which is sitting for second shot. Yellow still has shot rock. Are they going to call for the guard? Okay, they're calling for the guard. And here comes the shot. That's why I said I think they were playing the tap up on that, not the guard. Actually, that's not in a bad spot because now it's shot. He has to deal with it, which means he doesn't really going to bother with the second shot stone.
I'll tell you exactly what I like now. You almost never make that high, the guard, the yellow guard. Of the other yellow guard, redirect into those 2 reds. You need to hit a little off the nose, a little towards the center line side of the nose, and it'll redirect that yellow stone right into those 2 reds.
Well, he can also see, we're talking about a redirect off the stones on the right side of the center line as you're looking at the sheet and throwing one of them over into the 2 reds. Well, yellow has 2 stones left, so he can pick this one out and maybe roll back behind all that other stuff on the other side, see what red comes down and does, and still have that shot for his last shot. Well, that's a very tough angle. You have to hit it precisely, and I would gamble and wait, take that stone out there, get a roll in behind cover, and hopefully the other team makes a mistake. Otherwise, then you still have that shot for your last shot. So I think the play is to try to force one more mistake out of Mayfield here rather than go for the impossible at this moment. Would you concur, Bill? What do you think? What would you be playing here?
It's got to be a circus shot. Otherwise, there's no way they can score 3 to tie.
You wouldn't maybe just try to pick out that one that's shot right now, roll to the other side, and let them play their last shot and see what happens?
I think Brian's call is the only one that's.
Oh, okay. Everybody's relying on the wild shot here. Well, they're not doing it. They're playing kind of what I'm suggesting. They're playing a control weight, light. It's too heavy. Too much weight. They needed half of that weight just to push that back and roll to the other side. And which leaves, no, they're not going to shake yet. Oh, yes, they are. Well, it's a shake. Team Mayfield wins, moves on into the A event. Team Potomac will move down into the C event, and that'll just about wrap up our broadcasting for this afternoon, folks. We'd like to thank all of you, all 11 or 12 of you that have been out there with us this afternoon. Hopefully you'll be back at 5 o'clock when Team Galebach will play against Team Andrew here on Sheet B, and yours truly will be playing in that game, so be sure to tune in and watch us curl this afternoon or late afternoon. I'm sure we'll have some good commentary going, and I'll be back behind this mic before the weekend's over, I have a feeling. And we'll hang on here a minute. I'd like to see if Chris could maybe come in and give us a few words here. As soon as he looks this way, they're coming in now. Maybe we can grab Chris for a few quick words here on his match. Like to know a little bit about what they were thinking in that last end. Here they come. Here comes Chris. I got Chris over here now. Joining me now here in the booths, the winning skip from Mayfield, Chris Goldsmith. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, Rich, we're doing wonderful. We're lucky to win that one, I tell you. That was an interesting first couple of ends, but probably boring for all the people watching since they were two blanks of the game.
We were commenting on that. I love the fact that teams were out here blanking ends and trying to figure out what was going on the ice before they turned the jets on.
Well, you know, I started curling way back in the 1970s when we had corn brooms and no free guard zone, so I'm used to blank ends, so I felt pretty comfortable out there.
How about in that last end as you picked up a couple misses there and rocks started piling in? Could almost see the sweat starting to come off your forehead there.
I was pretty nervous, no doubt about it. You know, you think it's easy when you've got a 3-point lead coming home, and you don't have the final rock, and anything can happen. It's a totally different game in that kind of circumstance. The tension is brittle.
Yeah, and we could see that piling up there. But it looks like all you guys had a pretty good game today. You noticed your second was struggling a little bit with whether it was broom placement or weight or hitting the broom. He struggled a little bit, which gave you some fits, I think, through the earlier ends.
Yeah, you're right about that. There wasn't a lot of finesse in his takeout shots. They were cannons, I tell you. But you know, Kent's a great curler, and I've curled with him for 6 years now, and you know, we all have those kinds of games. But we'll come back. We're excited to be in the Final Four here in the A event, and looking forward to this evening.
And as we noted earlier when we were talking before, that it's kind of a little bit of a revenge factor for your 0-3 appearance 2 years ago, eh?
Ouch, that hurts.
Well, you're 3-0 this year, so you're making
even.
You're making up
Right,
for it. You're getting back. That's what I said. You got a little revenge factor going here. Keep on going through the A event. How'd you find the sheet? It seemed like there was a couple funny spots where it may have flattened out a little bit, the curl.
Yeah, it's interesting. The sheets are real different. We started out on sheet D, the sheet off to the far right, and that was very swingy all over the ice. Sheet A, the first sheet over here, we curled, and it was very flat on the outside, swinging in the middle. This one was swinging in a couple directions, but not others. So it's a challenge to read the ice. It really is.
Well, and that's part of the game, and whoever figures that out generally wins.
Yeah, and we were lucky to do that today. Thanks so much, Rich. Great being with you again.
Hey, great having you here, Chris. And I'll be up at Mayfield in a couple weeks going against you guys. So we'll see you at your annual men's. What is it, the 26th year now?
It is the 26th year, that's right, and it's the 50th year of our club, so a lot to celebrate, definitely.
And we're looking forward to that, and looking forward to seeing you the rest of this weekend. Good luck.
All right, bud. See you.
Okay, and that's going to about wrap up our afternoon broadcast here from the National Capital Curling Center. I'm going to turn it back over here now to our technical guru, Michael Dobbs, who will sign us out and take a break and get ready for the late afternoon game. Good day.
Thank you, Rich. And yes, we will be back around 5 o'clock after the ice maintenance for a game 207 in the second event featuring Team Galebach and Team Andrew. So join us then and have a good afternoon.